This is the doctor from Triple Threat Talk. Joey Chestnut can apparently eat 62 hot dogs in 10 minutes. Big B, how many can you eat?
I think I reached my limit.
And welcome everybody to another edition of Triple Threat Talk. This is the doctor. As always, Big B, and the newly married Postmaster Joe.
All right, I got new married. Good, glad to be back, fellas. Glad to be back. Wedding was great. Stephanie looked marvelous. She looked absolutely gorgeous. Got a little bling on the finger there. I don't know if you guys can see it on the cam, but had a good time. Florida was really nice. Got to do a lot of neat things. And glad to be back, get down to business. And what better way to get down to business than talking about a new Wimbledon champion.
And not just a new Wimbledon champion, but a new world number one. The first time that someone other than Rafael Nadal or Roger Federer is number one since 2004. So big congrats to Novak Djokovic, beating Nadal in 4 sets. Great win by Djokovic. Going 48-1 on the year, only losing one match to Roger Federer at the French Open. But the thing that perplexes me is that it was reported that Nadal in his 4th round match got a hairline fracture in his left foot. Now, people can speculate that because Nadal wasn't 100%, that's how Djokovic won. And people said that before, when Federer won the French Open, he only won because Nadal wasn't there. So, I know you don't know as much about tennis as I do, but coming from a sporting standpoint, do you think if someone is not up to 100%, it taints a win?
No, and I'll tell you why. Because it's obvious that Novak Djokovic has been the best player all year to this point. I mean, 48-1, that's awesome. And so regardless if it was Nadal or Federer or Andy Murray or Andy Roddick or whomever, a win is a win. And to me, it's no different than saying, well, Tiger Woods is out of the Masters, Phil Mickelson's wins. Oh, well, it doesn't really mean much because Tiger wasn't there. So, Phil, guess what? Your Masters win is tainted. So to me, no, I think it's still a great achievement, a great accomplishment. A lot of people I know don't follow tennis, you don't watch tennis, but sports in general to have a record of such, high, standards, 48-1, that is great, and I have to tip my hat to him. That's excellent.
It is a great record, and you're right. I mean, it's just like saying, because LeBron James didn't show up in the 4th quarter, the Mavericks, their victory is really tainted. Victory is victory. It doesn't really matter.
Absolutely.
How you get it.
And with that, we had another injury. Tiger Woods announced that he will be missing the British Open.
That's his 2nd major he's going to miss straight.
Right. I mean, and you got to think at this point, Tiger's not getting any younger. And the women he might be around might surely be getting younger. But the thing about it is that he's not going to catch Nicholson. I mean, I think earlier off there... Nicholas, thank you. Sorry. Earlier, we haven't done this in 2 weeks. Earlier, Big B asked us, do you think he'll ever win a major again? At first I said no. But Lady Luck has a weird way of doing things. I mean, you see it every day in horse racing. You see it every day in other things.
The thing about Tiger, I have to ask, is that sometimes he plays well in the beginning, and then he falls apart at the end.
Right.
The way he's playing now, obviously, as we haven't seen him in a couple months because he's been out because of injury. Right. But when he comes back, can he return to form? Obviously, he's not going to return to form the way he was in the past. That's not going to happen. That Tiger Woods is gone.
Right.
But is it possible for him to return to the form where he can somehow play good enough for the few days that the tournament is going on to win a major?
Oh, absolutely.
Against other people like Rory McIlroy or Phil Mickelson.
Right. Well, Phil Mickelson's kind of dropped off. It's kind of funny that you bring that up because Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson, they are kind of synonymous. They've been synonymous. When Tiger plays well, Mickelson plays well. When Mickelson plays well, Tiger plays well. They kind of symbiotic of each other that way. But I think the more important thing here is people are saying since Tiger wasn't there, the victory Roy McIlroy has doesn't mean anything. And, it goes back to what you were just saying. It doesn't matter if Tiger wasn't there because Roy McIlroy not only won.
He dominated.
Yeah. He
Crushed.
Staggering numbers.
And that's a number that Tiger Woods hasn't even hit yet. I mean,
Rory
he hasn't set a record like that at anywhere. I mean, he's won by large numbers, but he's never set a record.
You think he's related to Sheamus?
No. Is that actually Roy McIlroy was actually spotted at Wimbledon during some matches.
But I mean, it just goes to show that I don't think Tiger's ever going to be back to where he was.
Absolutely not.
I do think he can win a major. I do think it's not even impossible to maybe even have him lead the Ryder Cup team to victory a couple times more.
Do you see him at number 1 on ever again?
Never again. Never.
Really?
He's already in the 50s. Well, see, the way the point systems works is this: They take all your current year and measure it against the same time 2 years back. So those have a certain percentage holding, and each week that goes by, that whole thing can get shaved off.
I think the point, like the world golf ranking, is a bunch of crap.
It is. They totally need to redo it.
Because basically all the world golf rankings is another, like, the AP poll for basketball and football. It's, what have you done for me lately?
Right.
It's not, it doesn't really grade the best players in the world. It should just be not the world golf ranking. It should be the Associated Press ranking. Because clearly, I don't care what you say, I don't care how hurt and down the man is, Tiger Woods is still number 1. You cannot take that away from him.
I'm going to have to disagree.
He has won the most majors in the last 10 years, more than anybody. If you want to call it world rankings, Tiger Woods is still number 1.
I'm going to have to disagree because I'm going to have to throw out another sport in order to disagree. But the Atlanta Braves in the 90s, clearly the team in the 90s, won 8 World Series, I think, right?
They won 1.
They won 1. They won like the NL East every single year. Yeah. They dominated the NL East.
They won 14 straight divisions.
And when it came to playoff time, they choked.
Right.
Now, they weren't good enough to win the playoffs.
But the thing about it is, the point here I'm trying to make is they won all that many divisions. And nowadays, it was 10 years ago, but they're not number 1 anymore. No. They're not number 1 in sport.
They're not even number 1 in their own division.
Right, they're not even number 1 in their own division.
No.
So what I've got to say that Tiger Woods, it's like, he hasn't done anything lately. This whole thing with his wife, it's totally disrupted. He's not, in order to be number 1, you have to play like you're number 1, and he's not playing like he's number 1. He's not even playing like he's number 100 at this point in time.
Well, it'll be interesting to see. Another interesting topic that has really been clogging up the sporting news here lately is the NFL and the NBA lockouts. It's looking more and more like the NBA may not play for 3 years.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant is actually considering playing in China. And with the NFL, hopefully, knock on wood, it's looking like we may see some football this season.
It looks like we're going to see the whole season.
Yeah, the NFL is getting closer to closing a deal and making everything, right for the season, right. Making sure everything goes smoothly, and making sure we all have every single game, not a half a season. But it seems like the lockout for the NFL has been like about 113, 114 days now. It's been a real long time. NBA just started, and right off the bat, it seems like the NBA is like, we don't care. We're not doing anything to fix this. It just seems like they're just putting it off, and that doesn't really help the fans, honestly.
Right, and there was a Player X. ESPN, for those of y'all who don't know, they do a magazine, and they have a writer come in called Player X. And this Player X of this month, they said that their agents told the entire league to save money because it's not unheard of. It's not unthinkable that you won't be playing for 2 or 3 years. Player X said that he had saved money for 2 years and he was good. He won't need a paycheck until 2013. Other people aren't going to do that. I think that what we're going to see the most changed out of here, I think for the college game, one and done is gone. I think David Stearns is saying that he doesn't care about the NCAA. Where do you think your players come from? Do you think they just drop out of the sky? Of course you care about the NCAA, you conceited piece of crap. You have to care about the NCAA. And he's saying that, no, I don't care about the NCAA. I don't care about what college players want or what college fans want. And that's ridiculous because your players come from the NCAA. The draft this year we saw completely made out of European players.
Yeah.
I'm all about land of opportunity. I'm all about land of opportunity in America. I'm proud of that by all means. But one and done here has no place because you're giving these kids a paycheck like we talked about.
Let me ask you this. You talk about, all the players that came in from the NBA draft were from Europe this year.
Yeah, look at the thing they did for
a lot of them,
Ricky Rubio from Minnesota. They had like a grand parade for the guy.
So let me ask you this: since they're talking, we may not see NBA for 2 to 3 years. What's the perspective of a new league starting up?
I think the new prospect is very well. We saw the ABA fade out into the NBA. I think the NBA has run its course. Nobody cares. The players are greedy. The owners are greedy.
That is not true because actually the ratings for the NBA this year are up.
The ratings were up when during the playoffs. The ratings
and
were
during
up
the regular season. It was
because LeBron was the bad guy. Everybody rooted against LeBron. That's fact.
They wanted to see him
Everybody
fail.
knows.
Right, but
everybody knows.
But even still, the ratings were up.
Had LeBron not been a bad guy, the ratings would have been just as low as ever. And I guarantee you that's a fact. Because when they ask these people, they don't just say, hey, guess what your rating is? There's a little ratings box, and people can also add comments when they submit to their ratings. Most people said we wanted to see LeBron fail.
Which, by the way, any comments you may have for us,
feel free to leave them
Yeah,
on
feel free to
Facebook.
leave us on our Facebook page, Triple Threat.
Facebook page.
Thank you. And Triple Threat Talk at Yahoo.
Leave us a comment.
.com.
Leave us a comment. We revamped the show for the viewers.
Which,
because of
by the
comments.
way, with that being said,
Mhm.
I did have a couple viewers request that we talk about this next topic.
Can I say one more thing about the
Sure,
lockouts?
go ahead. Go ahead.
I think it's important to note it's not a very widely known fact among casual sports fans. The NFL is so close to a resolution that player practices have started
Yeah, I
happening.
actually heard that. Yeah.
There are 5 teams. The 49ers are the latest team to start holding them. The New Orleans Saints were the first team to start holding
the
them.
Saints.
So I think that I think that's a great thing that those 5 teams have started doing that. And personally, I'm a big Niners fan. We need all the help we can get. So I'm glad you guys decided.
And I don't know what's going on.
NFC West, buddy. What do you expect?
I don't know what's going on with our quarterback. I don't know if Hasselbeck's playing or if they're going to groom Whitehurst. So I'll have to see that.
They're
also.
grooming Whitehurst, but we'll get into that in another show.
Yeah, no, that's
But
the
this next topic was brought upon me by several viewers, and like I said, and like they have said, if you have something you want us to talk about, we'll gladly talk about it on the show. This was a topic I was going to bring up, and now with several viewers requesting we talk about it.
Take it away.
The inaugural race at Kentucky Speedway, the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. Thank you, Bruton Smith. I am glad. I've been waiting for this since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. NASCAR Cup racing in Kentucky. Woo! It makes me excited.
I'm not a NASCAR fan, but Saturday I'm playing in a big poker tournament for the second time. I'll be the first player to make it to a final table if I do it twice in the same organization at a final event. So that's my little plug for myself. But the reason I'm saying that is I'm setting aside 10 to 15 minutes. I loathe NASCAR. But that being said, Kentucky, I love this state. I love the economy in this state. I'm holding myself to 30 minutes to watch that race on Saturday because I want to see Kentucky have our moment because I think it's huge. I think it's going to do great things for the state, and it's an ends to a means.
Okay. Well, it's a sellout, which is great.
Absolutely.
108,000 grandstands. Every seat has been sold. It's a sold-out event. You got Thursday night, you got the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Uno 225. Should be a good race. You got a couple Cup stars in that race. On Friday night, you got the Feed the Children 300. You got another quite a bit allotment. As a matter of fact, Kyle Busch. Everybody knows Kyle Busch.
Right.
Even if you don't watch NASCAR, you know Kyle Busch. M&M's, pedigree. Come on, everybody's seen him. He's attempting to win all 3 events this weekend, as a matter of fact. He's pulling triple duty. So it should be a great, great event. To me personally, from a fantasy standpoint, if I was a betting man and I wanted to go lay some money down in Vegas on who would win this race, my thoughts would have to definitely lie with Joey Logano, or Carl Edwards or Kyle Busch. All three have won at this track before. And in fact, Joey Logano has won the last 3 consecutive NASCAR Nationwide Series races at Kentucky. So it should be a great race. With it being the inaugural event, you don't know what to expect. So nobody really has an advantage other than those guys because they've raced there before. But even that, they don't really have an advantage because they've never raced a sprint cup there before.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to it. I'm going up Friday, and I'll be there all weekend. Not coming home. Got a hotel up close by, so I'm going to be staying there for the weekend. The economy really needs it.
Yes, it does.
This is going to be a great boost for ratings. It's going to be a great boost for everything involved. The state, the sport of NASCAR. So I'm excited as punch. I'm hoping my man Tony Stewart pulls off the inaugural race. So a little plug for my man in the 14 Office Depot Mobile 1 car.
You're going to see my dad up there. I know all sorts of people going up there. My parents are going up there. My boss is going up there. We got a lot of people going up there.
So can't wait for that. And also can't wait for the upcoming Money in the Bank pay-per-view, fellas.
Yeah, we'll cover wrestling real quick, but you pulled me aside before the show happened. Show started today. And you revealed that they did find out what caused the death of the Macho Man Randy Savage.
They did. They said it wouldn't have mattered, unfortunately, of the wreck. And they actually revealed that he only suffered minor injuries from the wreck. He actually died from a heart disease. Randy Poffo, otherwise known as Macho Man Randy Savage, had 6 to 8 blocked arteries. And he had a massive heart attack, which is what killed him. He died from heart disease.
Right.
Once again, our thoughts are with the Poffo family as always, and I'm glad that they were able to come to some closure to figure out what...
And I'm glad there was no drugs involved or anything.
Right,
usually when a wrestler dies, it's always about, oh, he took steroids or this and that, but I'm glad that it was something... I mean, I'm not glad, but it was something that, natural causes and something that tainted his career.
So, I mean, it's good that was revealed, and we've got closure on that case. Now, apparently, when it comes to SmackDown, we don't really have any closure in the title picture.
Yeah, the one thing that struck me on SmackDown, they were signing a contract, Randy Orton and Christian were, to sign a contract for the match at Money in the Bank between them two for the World Championship. And Randy Orton signed the dotted line. He signed up. He's all ready to go. Christian was about to sign it, but then Sheamus interrupted him, and Christian never signed it, so I don't know how that's going to work for the Money in the Bank pay-per-view itself. The only other thing that I remember from SmackDown that's really important to mention is that Mark Henry fought Randy Orton in the opening match, and he lost. And he goes over to the production area and assaults a production worker. He obliterated the guy. He threw him over one of the production things, and Mark Henry just snapped. He's got a mean streak. I mean, what's going on with Mark Henry?
Was it Little Jimmy?
No, it wasn't.
Oh.
I think what's going on here with Mark Henry is they're pushing him for a title run. I don't think he's going to get it.
No.
Not yet, at least. He eventually is going to get it again. He's worked too hard his whole career. I've played Tekken with Mark Henry before. I've talked with this man personally. He's worked hard when he was here in OVW. He's worked very hard, long hours. He deserves a title shot. Right now, though, in my opinion, I think something else is going on here. I think Money in the Bank. We spoke in one of the earlier shows about what happens if Wade Barrett loses the title, which he did to Ezekiel Jackson. Traditionally, and the last few times this has happened, keep this in mind that this is based on a trend that has happened. The last few times a mid-card title has been lost, the person has won a championship.
You're right.
They have won a championship.
Point example, The Miz.
The Miz, exactly.
The Miz.
Intercontinental champion, WWE champion. Look for Wade Barrett to win the ladder match. That is my prediction. And with so many guys,
You're predicting early, huh?
You gotta give me 2 picks with so many guys. I'm saying Wade Barrett and I'm saying Kane.
Okay. So with our prediction show next Tuesday, you're marking that down.
I'm already marking it down.
All right. So that's pretty much it for SmackDown. Nothing really big important to talk about on that front. But Monday Night Raw.
We got to start this 2 Monday Night Raws ago.
Well, let me start this first real quick. Obviously, everyone knows that WWE is not as good as they used to be. The Attitude Era is long gone, and everyone knows that. But what happened 2 weeks ago on Raw Roulette, Monday Night Raw, this is why the WWE is the best wrestling company in the world, because they have the minds and the brain power to do stuff like they did 2 weeks ago. The main event match was John Cena versus R-Truth in a tables match. It was going back and forth, and obviously John Cena was getting the upper hand. CM Punk comes out and interrupts the match because he's the number one contender, so he wants to get in Cena's head. R-Truth wins the match. CM Punk goes up to the ramp, and I can say this wholeheartedly, he cut one of the best promos I have seen in the last 10 years.
It was all true too. I mean, you never expected. This is what makes a good wrestling person in the background. You never have your name mentioned. People don't know who you are.
Absolutely.
When he mentioned the name John Laurinaitis, I knew something was up. And it turns out, of course, this whole thing was scripted. We're not going to sit here and pretend like it wasn't. But the fact that they are now cutting a business from the business side promo, this is huge. This is what we talk about on this show, the business side of things. And now you're seeing a little bit of a taste of what does happen in the back office, in the front of things. They're bringing it to light. This whole thing, yeah, it's scripted, but damn it if it's not a good job by anything. This was epic. People's names being mentioned on WWE that would never get the light of day.
Not only dropped the name of John Laurinaitis, one of the executives, he dropped the name of, he said The Rock, but he said Dwayne Johnson.
Right.
He mentioned Brock Lesnar,
right.
Paul Heyman,
ROH.
Hulk Hogan, ROH, New Japan Pro Wrestling. I'm surprised he didn't mention TNA, to be honest with you.
I'm right there with you. Yeah. I'm right there with you. I'm very surprised. I'm surprised he didn't mention the Ultimate Warrior, to be 100% frank and honest with you.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you talk about stuff like that, that is what they're capable of. That was a preview into a business thing, and I think what is happening here is they are opening the door just a little bit for the casual fans that don't understand the business aspect. They're opening it up a little bit, and as a result, you get an epic promo by CM Punk.
I mean, the promo with Punk didn't just, speak terms in the wrestling world. He was the number one topic on Twitter after Raw happened. Everyone was talking about it, not just the wrestling people, but everyone was talking about it.
Because it was business.
Yeah.
It was business.
It was excellent.
It was
very
excellent.
excellent.
And then, for Vince McMahon to come out and issue that CM Punk had been suspended, and surprise, surprise, and yet again, we'll go to Gary's point, it is scripted, we know, but to have the baby face of the company come out and basically defend CM Punk. How great was that?
That was amazing.
You have the baby face of the company come out and say, Vince McMahon, you have been a fighter your whole life. That's why you took out Ted Turner. That's why you've done this. That's why you've done that. You're taking away the First Amendment, which is what, guys?
Freedom of speech.
Exactly. So, point and told, he comes out. He says, Vince McMahon, what is the matter with you? Is your grapefruits turned to raisins? Have you gone soft, Vince? And Vince come out. I mean, it was a excellent, excellent, excellent promo. He comes out and tells John Cena, look, don't be like everybody else. As a matter of fact, he called one name. He said, don't be like Hulk Hogan or anybody else. And he was like telling him, it's my company. I do what I want. So Cena said, okay, Vince, if that's how you want it, fine.
Here's your belt.
Here's your belt. Threw the title at Vince, walks up the ramp, and Vince is like, wait, damn it. You're not gonna walk out on me. You're not gonna that's it. You just stay right there. Don't you move.
Then he issues him the ultimatum. And in that ultimatum, we all know it.
The ultimatum of, okay, John, CM Punk is reinstated. He will fight you at Money in the Bank. However, if CM Punk walks out of Money in the Bank with my title, he said my title, and goes to another show or organization with my title, then John Cena, fire.
And I think that...
And he actually said it like that, too.
Yeah, I think that, we got to look into this. Yeah, we cover the business side of things, so yeah, this thing's right up our alley. There's a few things that sell in America, guys. Guess what those things are? Sex and money. Money sells, and when you're talking about the business thing, you can have great storylines even without the theatrics. And that's what this was. I think this was something that they dreamt of, that they thought about in the back rooms, brought it to the public, and the public is eating it up because
loves it.
Because CM Punk sold it so well 2 weeks ago. We're seeing it's going to be amazing. And I think Postmaster, you had a great scenario for what's going to happen at that ladder match, and I completely agree with you. Since you said it first, I'm going to let you say it.
This is what I said would happen. CM Punk will win against John Cena.
Absolutely.
However, the winner of the Money in the Bank match, whoever it may be, let's not forget Alberto Del Rio did win a number one contenders match to face Cena at Money in the Bank. So we don't really know what's going to become of that yet. However, what I think will happen, CM Punk will beat John Cena for the belt. And when you think, oh no, and the little kiddies are like, no! John Cena's fired! Whoever wins Money in the Bank comes to the rescue, wins the title, and becomes the new champion. CM Punk gets the break that he wanted, because we all know he's not going to TNA, he's not going back to ROH, he's not going anywhere. He's just taking some time off.
Because if he was going someplace, we all know what Vince McMahon would do.
Exactly.
Vince McMahon would not be doing this. This is something, this is storyline. Like I said, I don't want this to be something like, this is storyline, dumbasses, don't you get it? We get it. This is a storyline, but this is also a storyline that you don't give to someone who's going to walk into TNA the very next night and just cut your company to shreds. Right. This is not that kind of storyline.
And this is a storyline that sells.
Absolutely.
This is new. This is something we've never seen. Right. I mean, come on. Freaking having Vince McMahon looking like he's flying in from Connecticut, and then he's in his limo, and then he's coming down the aisle. I mean, these promos are why WWE is king. Why WWE, and I think I just got a message from the anonymous Raw general manager, but this is why they've always been on top, and this is why they will always, always never be beaten, because of stuff like this. When they put their minds to it, they can be the greatest wrestling organization that they're known to be.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the thing is, people say like, oh, WWE sucks, or this is stupid, blah blah blah. The thing is, not even we know what they're capable of.
Right.
They plan things so far in advance, it's not even funny. And they plan this probably way in advance, and they know what they're doing. When they plan things out, they know exactly what they're doing.
We've gotten a lot of predictions right on this show so far. We've called a lot of things. I gotta admit, when I was watching this show, I really honestly thought, for a split second, in the back of my mind, for a split second, I thought, oh my God, he's just going to just walk out and not even worry about it. And then I realized, no, they're not going to do that.
Right.
But for a split second, it made you think. It even made fans as hardcore as we are. It made us think just a little bit. And whenever you're talking something like that, like I said, it's business. Business sells. And right now, the WWE is doing as good of a job as any from 2 weeks ago to now as to do anything business related.
They're stepping their game up, and I don't know if there's anything to do with it.
They're driving the nail in the coffin of TNA.
But I read recently that their stock is going down.
Their stock is going down. Their stock took a hit. It's now trading at under $10.
Right.
But it's never been... WWE stock is what's referred to as a safety net stock. I'm not going to get too financial with you, but a safety net stock is just that. It's something you put in your portfolio if you want to make sure that you're not going to lose a lot of money.
Right.
You're going to have that there, and you're going to keep that money.
Right.
WWE, you're not going to get rich off of it. You're not going to lose money off of it, but right now it has been fluctuating.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And it's clear as day that we all know that WWE, up until the last 2 weeks, like Gary has pointed out very much, it had gotten kind of stale and stagnant. It looked like it was the same thing over and over.
But they've taken some chances where they pushed someone like R-Truth for a change.
Right.
That was a complete change. And giving him some time on TV.
So they have been doing things.
They've been changing it up. Giving Christian the world title. They're doing stuff differently than they have in
2 days.
Well, they're doing stuff differently than they had in the past, and I think that's a good sign for things to come. I think they're going to try to take some risks going forward to say, let's try this and see how this works out.
Right.
Because they usually can't do any
They
wrong.
put it in John Cena's hands and have him run with it. And like we've said on this show, it's time for Cena to take a step back.
Yeah.
I gotta say, with Postmaster's thoughts, and like I said, I agree with him. I'm in the same boat. CM Punk wins. Money in the Bank person comes out and beats CM Punk. I'm all aboard for that. John Cena takes a little bit of a step back and watch the magic happen, because I understand John Cena is your product, but your product gets old. It's like a box of Cheerios. You can't, or Fruity Pebbles. It's like a box of Fruity Pebbles. You can't keep that open for too long, or it's gonna go stale.
Right.
All right, let's run out our show here, so let's wrap it up here with Money in the Bank predictions. Let's run down SmackDowns real quick. The SmackDown Money in the Bank consists of Justin Gabriel, Sheamus, Heath Slater, Cody Rhodes, Kane, Sin Cara, Daniel Bryan, and Wade Barrett. Predictions starting with you.
Like I said earlier, I'm standing by it. Wade Barrett and Kane. I think that Wade Barrett losing the Intercontinental title, as we talked about on this very show a few weeks ago, it's the prime example for him to get pushed. I think Wade Barrett wins Money in the Bank.
Postmaster?
I'm going with the fella. I think Sheamus will win Money in the Bank.
All right, I'm going to go with, I'll go kind of what you did. I'll pick two people here. First, I'll go with Cody Rhodes. They've been pushing Cody Rhodes for a real long time, especially that huge winning over Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania, which I think was a big boost for his career. Beating the Intercontinental Champion on SmackDown last week, Ezekiel Jackson, I think is a huge boost for him.
Maybe.
I think it's Cody Rhodes' time. I mean, I would have liked to see him win a mid-card title first, but
That's exactly why I don't think it's
right. And then I also go with Postmaster on that one. I think Sheamus is obviously the second. Sheamus is the second fastest winning WWE champion in history. First was Brock Lesnar, for those who don't know. He won King of the Ring. Sheamus has gotten everything to him because he's worked hard, and I think this might be another thing he can add to his resume or whatever. So Sheamus is my second pick.
And he can even run for president.
So then we'll move on to the Raw Money in the Bank.
You know what? I'm going to even stop you right there,
Okay.
Raw Money in the Bank, because we don't even know what's going to happen. We don't know.
Yeah, let's not really.
We don't want to talk about that. I don't feel comfortable talking about that
because we don't know the finalized.
Well, here's I'll just say this: the Money in the Bank before Monday was Del Rio, R-Truth, Jack Swagger, Miz, Evan Bourne, Rey Mysterio, Alex Wright, and Kofi Kingston. But Del Rio won that number one contenders match,
right.
So that kind of takes him out of the equation.
So it's going to change.
So let's just maybe have like a little fun stab at it. Who do you think they're going to get to replace Del Rio in the Money in the Bank?
That's a good
Gee,
question. Oh, God. I wouldn't even... You know what? Actually, I do have a little bit of an answer. I think, what would they say? Is R-Truth in it?
R-Truth is in it.
Okay. God, that shoots my answer out of the sky, man. I don't know. Who's left. Maybe Evan Bourne?
Evan Bourne's already in it.
Is Evan Bourne in it? Well, I don't know then.
I'm just throwing it out there. I mean, it could be a surprise person, maybe someone coming back. I know you mentioned that Chris Jericho was doing his thing with Fozzy. Maybe that could be something to bring Jericho back, put him in the Money in the Bank. He was the originator of the Money in the Bank. He did come up with the idea at WrestleMania 20. He was one of the people that thought of the idea, so that could be something. It could be someone else from Raw that you wouldn't think of. Maybe just someone random. God forbid. I hope it's not the Big Show. That could be somebody that they might put in there.
It's possible.
I hope not, but we'll.
You know who I think it's going to be?
Who?
And this would really, really be a surprise shot in the dark. And it could happen because it could be another one of those one-off things. There and gone, makes an appearance, and then he's back with Triple H.
It's possible.
I could see that.
Maybe
like something. But I think what they might do, either it's going to be someone that's a surprise, or it's going to be somebody that...
It's going to be a dud.
It's the Big Show.
Drew McIntyre.
Somebody you don't want to see. I don't really know how they're going to do that, but...
Maybe it's woo-woo-woo.
That would get a lot of people happy.
Zack Ryder.
But we'll discuss more on that when Money in the Bank rolls around. We'll definitely do our predictions, not just for the Money in the Bank matches themselves, but all the matches that run down the card for Money in the Bank. So, for Triple Threat Talk, this has been Big B.
I am Postmaster Jones.
And the Doctor.
Thanks for
See ya.
Thanks for watching, guys.